50 boys, one wish, a crowd cheering the last one to die. Welcome to America's favorite pastime, bars. All right, y'all, quick take. The long walk had me in my feelings. I'm landing it a solid 7 out of 10, maybe a 7.5, purely on vibes because it did get me emotional. And I'm a big fan of movies with a message. And I love left turning endings, even when it sits a little odd. This one does both, and it mostly sticks to landing. I am impressed. Now, this is the new adaptation of Stephen King's early novel, directed by Francis Lawrence, the same guy behind the Hunger Game films, so you know it's about to crack. The movie stars Cooper Hoffman as Ray Garraty, David Jonsson as Peter McVries, and Mark Hamill, the legend himself, as the regime-smiling executioner, the Major. And I'm telling you, this is not an action-filled movie. It isn't. So you know it must have had me stuck on it the entire time. Now, get this. Here's the premise. It's set in a grim alternative America with heavy 1970s vibes. 50 boys, one from each state, must walk nonstop. Drop below pace 3 times and you're done. That's it. Last one moving wins the money and a wish. It's a game show if game shows were federal intimidation with confetti. Now, from here on out, spoilers. If you want to go in fresh, pause now, watch it, then slide back through, and we gonna talk about it.
The spoilers are coming! The spoilers are coming! Hear me! The spoilers are coming!
First and foremost, I want to say, Stephen King, you need to leave some pussy for the rest of us. Because Jesus Christ, I don't know how many movies I watched that are adaptations of your books. I've essentially grown up on all of them. And I'm sitting here, pathetic. Can't even sell a couple of comic books of my own. As a matter of fact, Stephen King inspired me to write my own series and whatnot. All right, this is the part where I do my shameless plug. If you like dark urban fantasy and is tired of the same old Marvel, DC, monotony, and Monopoly, and you just want something different, and you just so happen to like fantasy stories with a message and action, definitely take a chance on my series Judgment Day. I know you'll like it, especially if you like all different types of fantasies, not just the same old ones we get in the Western media. Now, on to the main course. We open with Garraty getting the congratulations letter, like a sweepstakes for misery, right? America's been wrecked by war and poverty, and the walk is how the state sells hope to the desperate. All you have to do is suffer publicly, might even get rich. That's the hook. Weaponized hope. It's like a crooked Obama thing. The Major cruises along in comfort, smiling like a recruiter, giving motivational speeches in the front and bullets in the back if your pace slows. That's the contradictions in the movie's pulse. Do the hard thing while people in charge keep their hands clean. And here how's it hit me. This movie plays like an allegory for American recruitment culture and grind-till-you-drop capitalism. If you black, you know that because we grew up in that. Everybody on that road is young, broke, and being sold a dream. The Major, that's Uncle Sam in Vietnam, where the walk is the system saying prove your worth publicly and maybe, just maybe, we'll let you live better privately. Now, in the movie, there's a thread about the old ways, arts, books, music getting choked out by authoritarian control. Anything that lets you imagine a different life, cut it off. It's not subtle, but it's effective. And the film keeps pushing this cruel etiquette. Don't slow down. Don't care. Don't feel. However, the boys do care. That's the rebellion. Friendships from even when friendship is a liability. The movie, just like in real life, keeps telling them, eyes to the front. They keep choosing each other anyway. That steady drip of humanity, that's why I got emotional. Now, let me tell you guys about the characters, because the characters is what sold this whole deal for me. Okay, it was so well acted out. Ray Garraty was a kid walking with his father's ghost, convinced winning or revenge will make the world make sense. Peter Vries, he's like Garraty's opposite, his mirror. He was raised rough, used to walking by himself. Soft-hearted under scar tissue, their bond becomes the spine of this movie. The Major, Mark Hamill, affordable cruelty. Or is it a fable? Cruelty. I don't know. The sales pitch of the regime with a trigger finger. Stebbins, the mechanical rabbit, proximity to power doesn't save you from it. The Major is his daddy. Barkovich, that nigga just a dickhead. He's a dickhead. He's a straight up dickhead. Hank Olson, the planner who learns that his body doesn't give a fuck about spreadsheets. Everybody got a plan to your legs and some bitch ass nigga. The Arthur Baker character leads with faith and kindness, weaponized by the rules. So for this part, I'm gonna show my face. So after hundreds of miles, we're down to two people, McVries and Garraty. They're surrounded by a whole bunch of people with umbrellas. It's raining. They're even in a expensive part of clearly expensive part of town. The road is bricks, that sort of thing. So McVries decides to sacrifice himself. He only ever wanted, if you listen to a story, he only ever wanted a brother. Nah, Garraty decided no. He went back, picked him up, and was like, nah, we're gonna keep walking together. And they're both walking, and then Garraty stops, and then that's the end. Garraty gets his third warning. He is shot, and then that's when the Major comes in and does his whole little spiel and ends it. Now, this is where I looked a little weird, because I was like, wait, hold up. I hope they're not gonna go with vengeful, he's going to become vengeful black man and kill all these people around. I thought that's where they were going to go. You know me, I look at things from a racial lens because I have to. That's the world I live in. Like, removing the context of somebody experience is wrong. I don't like that, especially if you're going to tell stories, especially in the world we live in. So I was like, I hope they're not going there. But then I had to stop and think. Really what it was McVries and Garraty became brothers. Like I said earlier, McVries only really ever wanted a brother. He didn't have anything. And this white kid, while they were walking the 333 miles, became his brother. And then the Major took that from him. He would have left this world, his world, having a brother, and he was totally okay with that. But the Major took that from him. Garraty, who saw McVries wanted to change the world, he said he wanted, because McVries said his wish was going to be that two people win this game, not just one. So that way you can at least know that there's some hope that somebody that you're friends with will also be with you in the end, and not everybody in the 50 pack, goes. So I stopped to think, and I was like, okay, that represents us seeing each other as brother. That's what it represents. That represents us seeing each other as brothers. Because again, McVries decided, instead of taking his wish, he took Garraty's wish. He took the carbine. He said, oh, I'm going to give this to my kids one day. He turned it on the Major, and the Major tried to talk him down, and McVries did it. He did what Garraty wanted to do, because they took something from him that he gained, a brothership. But that's also I think that meant we need to look at each other as brothers, and the long run in that struggle. That seeing each other as opponents is only hurting us. But when we see our brother, someone who's not even really connected to us, somebody we knew for a couple of days, our brother is taken from us, we are supposed to react that way. And then he turns, and honestly, I don't know how the ending was. Okay, there's like a fog in the end. He turns, he walks away down a long black road by himself. And I'm thinking that maybe, you know, once he did what he did to the major, what actually happened is they ended him. But possibly, I think that's just basically saying that he can't walk the road that he's been walking his life for the rest of his life anymore. He's walking a new one, a dark one, because he had to. They took a beautiful thing away from him in that moment. So yeah, I think that's why it was a little weird for me in the end. Obviously, it's like the boomers versus the younger crowd. The boomers got it easy, but they're telling the younger crowd that they ain't got no work ethic, and they're sacrificing the young crowd and telling, you know, no, every once in a while somebody gets a bone thrown at them, that sort of thing. So I think that's what the movie was about. That's essentially why I gave it a 7.5. I liked the movie. The last part really got me emotional because, you know, brotherhood, that sort of thing. You know, two different people, two different backgrounds, don't look like each other. I was a little moved by that. So yeah, that was really good. All right, tell me what you think. What do you think? Yeah. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Yeah. Tell me what y'all think.
The bamboo earrings, baby.